Well, I mean, I can. I honestly, guys, I just found this. I looked at this a few months ago, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna as our teams start growing. And I was talking to Sarah on here. I'm like, every time I write down my prospects, or we want to be very personable with our teams, but like it's hard to stay organized and on top of things, at least for me anyway. So I need a tool. I think this will be awesome. I've actually reached out to a couple of people that are using it now, and they love it. So it's just an added value, I think. It was just kind of like when I bought my laptop and my business doubled. So to me, like if I do this, I feel like that's going to make it even more, I'll be able to be more present in my life in general. And also being at home full time, like I can go sit at my desk, but I'm like, what do I do today? And I feel like this is going to be like, okay, Jen, here's your to-do list, and it's right in
Yeah.
front of me, and I can check the box. And so, yeah. So yeah. So this is
Awesome.
Eric. I have never met him before, but he'll kind of just, I guess, go through this with us. And
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to talk to you. Thank you for that, Jen. My name is Eric Johnson. I am the creator and CEO of Teamzy. And here's what we're going to do today. For those of you who haven't seen Teamzy, Teamzy is a software application that allows you to get everything that you need to do in your business done in less than an hour a day. Okay, I'm going to show that to you guys in a minute. I'll walk you through how to set it up. I'll take you through how to do a power hour. Everything's built around this concept of power hour. But I also want to teach you, and we'll do Q&A at the end too. I also want to teach you a bit about relationship marketing, which is the system Teamzy's built on. It's an approach to doing the business. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about relationship marketing as well, so you understand what Teamzy's designed to help you really do in a very efficiently organized way, if that makes sense. So let's dive right on in, and we are recording. So don't worry about that in case you're taking notes or you don't have something to take notes on. This is what I want to talk to you about first: how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. How to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. I'm going to teach you some concepts and some philosophies, but you have to be able to systemize it. Not only will that make you consistently successful, but it's something you can duplicate with your team, right? You can't just duplicate ideas or abilities. You need systems. And then again, the key thing here is that you'll be able to get it done in less than an hour a day. So just to kind of give you some background on myself, I'm an author. Actually wrote a book called Power Hour Boss. I'm also, I've been a business coach and consultant for 20 years now. For 20 years, I've been helping people build their business based on relationships. About 6 years ago, 6 or 7, I guess now, I fell into the network marketing space by accident. Honestly, I was just looking for a little something extra in my life. How many of you guys were just looking for a little something extra? I had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of things happening for me at the time. I was working full time. I had my career job, which I really loved, as a professional business coach, and I had everything I thought I wanted. I had like the corner office, I had an ocean view, and um, the challenge was I wanted more. I mean, I wanted to make some more income. I just wanted some more. I live in Southern California. It's kind of pricey here, but I also felt like I should be able to see my family. I was always working. I was never around my family. And here's a shot of the fam here. I like my kids, I used to joke, I only saw my kids in their pajamas because they were in their pajamas when I left for work and they were in their pajamas when I came home from work. And I just felt like I was going to miss their entire life if I didn't change something. And so I started looking at the network marketing opportunity because, wow, what an amazing way you could start a business on the side with basically zero investment. Awesome, right? The challenge that I had, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this, is I wasn't sure how the heck I was going to add one more thing to my schedule. How am I going to build this business when I already don't have enough time to be with my kids? And so I committed to, a season where I would try to squeeze this in along with my job. And the only thing I could maybe sorry, I saw the thing that somebody wants to be admitted. The only thing I could maybe squeeze in was an hour a day. Like I figured maybe if I could just do an hour a day, see where I could go. And so I started looking for something, software system, something to help me leverage that time so that I could be efficient and effective during that 1 hour I had. And so you guys probably can guess what I found. I didn't find anything good. And so I've put together a team of folks smarter than me, and we built Teamzy and launched it just a little bit less than 5 years ago now. And just to kind of give you some background on what's happened in that time, in just under 5 years, we've had more than 120,000 network marketers use Teamzy. In fact, I haven't measured lately. Numbers probably getting up there. higher than that now. And just to kind of give you an idea of the types of results people are getting using the Teamzy system, our active users are averaging 21 new customers and 9 new recruits added over a 90-day period. 21 new customers and 9 recruits over a 90-day period. So just think about your business. And if you did that every 90 days, would that be pretty good growth if you're average? All right. Okay, so let's dive into the presentation. Enough introduction. What is relationship marketing? What is relationship marketing? This is the bonus training you didn't know you were going to get today, Jen. Relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. One of the reasons why our industry has kind of a bad reputation is because people feel like you're putting the sale above your friendship. You're just trying to get something. And so we're flipping that on its head. We focus on the relationships. We focus on the people. They're more important than the sale, more important than the products. And by doing that, by releasing that tension, we're able to create something really cool. Also, relationship marketing is not some abstract feel-good concept. Oh, it's all about relationships. We're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya at the end of our call today. This is a proven system that we follow. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Okay. And this is one of the fun things, Jen mentioned this in the beginning of the call, wondering what to do today in my business. Teamzy is a system. I've been teaching this system for 20 years to every type of business you could possibly imagine. We always know what to do next. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. Also, relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. And that's the definition of that, a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. It's a lead generation system. I want you guys to understand, as business owners, marketing Modere is not your business. You are in the lead generation business. This is your business. It's a mindset shift. That means your business is creating a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into your products and services. That's your job. Now, you wear all the hats of your job right now. You're the administrative assistant, you're the salesperson, you're the marketing expert, right? You do it all, but your primary job as owner of the business is the lead generation business. I just want you guys to get in that mindset. Now, what do we do? Why do we create leads? In relationship marketing, developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. You're in the lead generation business so you can meet people and build relationships with them. It's that simple. And all the people you've already met up till now, we're going to go deeper. We're going to deepen relationships with them. Why is the relationship the paramount duty, not the sale, not the recruit? Because you guys need to get this concept. And this is missed. Oh my gosh, every single person I see training in our industry misses this. We turn relationships into advocates. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. That we focus on relationships because we are building an army of advocates, Okay, an army of advocates. This is how you build a business that is not only a joy to build, but that you don't find burnout, that you're not constantly having to beat the bushes forever to keep it growing, right? We focus on building an army of advocates. These are people who are so excited about what we're doing that they have to tell people, they feel compelled to tell people about it, to introduce people to us. And I want you guys to understand, as I train you tonight, or depending on where you are, I guess it's today, is that an advocate may say no. They may not want what you're selling, but they may be so excited about your mission that they will tell other people about it. They will help solve other people's problems with your solution for you. This is the point. And in our industry, we get so caught up in this go for no concept where we're throwing away people who say no. And I'm telling you that the no's will become advocates if you build relationships. This is how the business grows exponentially. Okay, next principle. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. It's true. And you know what? Our industry thrives on deception. Our industry thrives on disingenuous approaches, tricking people, right? Originally, it was like, come out to coffee and then you pull out the 3-ring binder. I thought we were having coffee. You're pitching me my business. Nowadays, it's different. Nowadays, we've moved to social media. So it's about creating curiosity. It's about hiding what we're doing until we got them on the hook. And then, right? This whole disingenuous approach is why our industry has a bad reputation. But here's the good news. If you focus on building relationships and building trust, you don't ever have to be disingenuous. You get to be authentic. You get to be you. You get to be integrous. And the best stuff is trust makes the work fun. See, when people trust you even a little bit, guys, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You can get right to helping them, which is why we're in the business, right? Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. Trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. You're never going to feel like an icky salesperson. Your friends are never going to feel icky because of your approach. You're not going to have to worry about burning bridges and losing relationships over building your business when you're focused on building trust. Also, number 3, you get to go for yes. You get to go for yes. No go for no's in this approach. It's going for yes with everybody. Okay, so let's talk about trust for a minute. How do you actually build it? There's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. And I'm going to just kind of go through these real quick before we jump into Teamzy, and I'll show you how this works in the system. But I want you guys to get these because this needs to be your intention. These 4 ingredients are going to be your intention on a daily basis. This is what you're going to be doing when you're connecting with people. These 4 things to build trust with them. Number 1 is chemistry, and I'll explain them out real quick. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Okay, character is number 2. Number 3 is competence. Okay, competence is number 3. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right, let's explain these out really quick. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Look, it's important that we build rapport. It's important that we find chemistry with people. Here's the fundamental reason why. People want to do business with friends. I know you guys call yourselves social marketers, right? People want to do business with friends. Nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like. So our first job is to build rapport, find what we have in common. How can they relate to us? How can you relate to them? By the way, it's a two-way street, right? It's fun relating to them too. Chemistry. Number 2, character. Probably more important by a factor of 10. Character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Now, just real quick on this definition, I want you guys to really understand this definition. You don't have character. Character is something you choose to do. Does this make sense? It's an action you take. It's not something you possess. We think of character as something we possess. It's really just what you're doing. Are you showing your character? And people want to do business with people they like and people whose character they feel good about. And character, again, is just showing care. So is this showing up in how you communicate with people, how you follow up with leads or with customers? Is this showing up with how you treat people in general? Are you a good tipper? Do you drive are you a considerate driver on the highways? All of these things matter, right? You don't want to put a big Modere bumper sticker on your car and then cut people off in traffic. It all shows up. It's important. It's important. Hey, if you struggle with being too aggressive of a driver, this is just, I always joke about this, but if you put a statement of faith on your car, it helps because now you don't want to, because now you're representing your faith. It makes you a better driver. Yeah. So put a statement of faith on your car and you will drive better. Okay, character. So everything we do is character. And this is how we post on social media is character. Is this post all about me or is this showing how much I care for the people reading it? Does this make sense, guys? And then the relatable piece, the second piece, this is very important for you as you become successful in the business. You need to stay rooted in where you started. Yes, people are inspired when you win a free car and when you win the free vacations and all the trappings of success. People are inspired by that, but they need to relate to you. You have to continue to tell that original story. A really good friend of mine, Beverly, who's a leader in another network, she is this force of nature. I mean, she is so strong and energetic and vibrant and almost intimidating at times, right? She's like a Wonder Woman personality. And her story is that she had an autoimmune deficiency that left her weak and with no energy. She was an officer in the military and had to leave the military because she didn't have the energy to get up and do her job. And you would never know this because she's, because her company and the products and the nutrition, she's turned it all around. You would never know this. And, we had a long conversation. She said she feels like people aren't relating to her. And when she told me that story, I said, you need to be telling that story every single day. People can't relate to you when you've won. They need to relate to the struggle that you've been through. You got to keep telling that story. So remember, it's important not just to be about caring, but also to stay relatable. Okay, number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. There's 2 pieces to this because they're both important. The first piece is, can you help me? Can you find the problem that I have and help me solve it? Are you knowledgeable? Do you understand how the system works? Can you help me with this? I've got a lot of choices of people that I could do business with. Why should I choose you? Do I believe you can help me? The second piece of this is, do I believe you could mentor me in this business if I join your team to become successful? Right? I need to know that you're competent so that we can do that. So these are 2 things that I need you guys to be showing is your competence. I have to leave my presentation whenever someone's in the waiting room.
I'm sorry. I was trying to let him in.
Oh, no worries. No big deal. But if you see my screen, my slide go back and forth, that's all I'm doing. So competence is when you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So here's the thing, real quick on this. It's really important that you guys share your competence consistently, in your social media posts, as you're talking to people. They need to know your competence. You need to be talking about it. It's not enough to just be competent. People need to see it demonstrated. Now, when you're new, this is really important because a lot of times new people pretend to be all expert when they're not. They may have even had somebody tell them, just fake it till you make it. Okay. So this is not, remember, this is all about trust that we're talking about. So you cannot fake, can't be fake anything. Now, just context, that term fake it till you make it was coined by one of my favorite business mentors, Zig Ziglar. How many of you guys have read Zig Ziglar or listened to him on audio? Yeah. That line is about having a positive attitude when you're not feeling up. Okay. That's what that line's about. It's like, how many of you guys wake up some days and you don't feel like it? I just mean it in general, just don't feel like it. That's when you fake it till you make it. But you don't pretend to be something you're not. That comes across disingenuous. We don't want to do that. So here's what you do when you're new or when you don't have the competence yet, is you talk about your team. You talk about your upline. You talk about their competence. You share their stories. Does this make sense? People need to know that when they join you, they're joining a winning team. And as time goes on, though, I want you to be conscious about building that competency and sharing it as you go. Because let's be honest, some of your friends and family have seen you with your pants on backwards. It's going to take a while for them to trust that you are now a business tycoon. Does that make sense? Okay, now real quick on this, we've got one principle on this before we jump to the next screen on these 3 points on how to build trust. If someone's going to be doing business with you, these are the 3 things they care about. They only care about these 3 things. Okay. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? These are the 3 things people, they won't ask them out loud. It's more like they feel it in their heart. Now, what happens is there's 3 stages to this. I'm not sure about one or all of these. And that's when I raise objections. Okay. If I'm not sure about one or all of these, I'll raise objections. So you need to overcome objections, keep working on that relationship. When I know these are all yes, I can trust you. Yes, I know you care. Yes, I know you're good at what you do. I have now become your advocate, which is the ultimate goal. I have now become your advocate. Now, the caution, the word to the wise on this is, if they know the answer is no to any one of these, they will refuse to do business with you. They will refuse to do business with you. And in many cases, they will encourage others not to as well. Does it make sense? Let's talk about number 4, consistency. Yes, you got to actually do work. You actually have to do some work to make all this come together. Consistency. The number one way to build trust is to do things consistently, right?
That's true.
Does it work to say, trust me to somebody? That doesn't work. They're waiting to see you do something consistently. This is especially true, guys, with your closest relationships, friends and family. When you join this business, a lot of people are like, okay, let's just see how she does. Let's just see if she really is doing this in 3 months and 4 months. Have some people may have even said that, right? Call me in 6 months if you're still doing it. Consistency is key to building trust. Now, there's a little added bonus to this. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. This means that when you are being consistent, people see it and they want to be around it. How many of you have been doing this for a while and you hear people telling you things like, you're so inspiring. I've been watching you on social media. It's inspiring. Yeah. And you're like, I'm inspiring. I mean, I'm trying, but I'm just a normal person, right? But what is inspiring them is your consistency. People want it in their lives. The consistency actually, not only does it build trust, but it draws people to the team. It creates a culture. It makes the team being something fun and exciting to be around. People will find that they love their team more than other groups that they're associated with because they're positive and they're striving and they are learning to be consistent. So let's talk about this real quick. How many of you guys are consistent? You're out there using your products, you're sharing, you're on social media, you're sharing, being consistently out there. People know about it. You guys doing okay in that post? Yeah, hopefully. Here's one little principle that it's not on my presentation, but I'll share with you, which is if nobody knows about your business, it's not going to grow very fast. Right? There's a lot of people who've kept it, who try to do this business secretly. It doesn't work. This isn't espionage. People need to know about it. But here's the real question. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Are you as consistent with your relationships? And what I mean by this is staying in touch with people. Are you as consistent about staying in touch with your relationships as you are, say, about posting on social media? Because this is where the rubber hits the road. Relationship building is a contact sport. Relationships are the key to the business. Relationship building is a contact sport. You have to be in regular contact with people if you want a relationship with them. I know your time is scarce, which is why I built Teamzy. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It's so efficient where you get to connect with people. But I want to share one more principle before I jump over to Teamzy, and that's this. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, just really quick on this. If you guys can turn on your cameras and you're decent, turn them on real quick because I want to see you for a second. How many of you, I have to put in the "and you're decent" caveat these days. Too many Zooms, people aren't paying attention. How many of you have ever received like a really great card or letter from somebody that you love that had a handwritten message in it? When you read that handwritten message, you just, oh my, got so emotional. Have you guys all received a card, at least one? Yeah, right? Of course.
Absolutely.
Hopefully. If not, put your address in the chat and we are going to all send you one. But here's the question. How many of you all thought of at least one or two in your mind when I asked you the question? Do you still have it? Did you save it? Is it kept somewhere?
Absolutely.
How many of you guys have a stash, like a stack or a
I have a
box?
I have a box.
Everyone's nodding. See, we all keep these things. It's incredible, isn't it? The impact of a handwritten note from somebody we love. In fact, here's what's really amazing. Often when people that we love pass away, what do we treasure the most? The cards and letters that they received. Isn't that true? So here's another example. This is a happy birthday postcard that I received from my, what do you call that? My life insurance person. Have you guys ever received a postcard for your birthday from somebody you do business with? Yeah, is it nice to get? Kinda, I guess. How many of you guys kept these in a special sacred place with your other cards and notes? Nobody does. These are trash, right? We throw these right in the trash. We don't keep these. We throw them away. They don't have much value to us. I always joke, do you think when I'm gone, my son Cruz will keep this postcard as the bookmark in the family Bible to remember how in such high esteem my life insurance salesperson had? No, of course not. We're not going to keep this. So I joke with it. In fact, the only reason I still have it is because I like to make fun of it on these calls. But this is important. I want you guys to understand why this has no value. Going back to the principle I just taught you. First, this required no investment of time. This required no investment of time. So we put no value on it. You with me? The second piece is this is not personal. This is not personal. It's a bulk mailing. It doesn't even have my name on it. It says happy birthday to you. Not personal, requires no time. We don't value it. We don't value it. Now, this is really important. I'm going to show you guys how to invest just a little tiny bit of time and make personal connections so you can dramatically increase the quality of your relationships. And that's what Teamzy is built for. But I just want to kind of nail this point, I want you guys to think about this term, which is so enticing, which is automated marketing. Have you guys heard of automated marketing? How many of you would be so excited if I told you that Teamzy's automated? You don't have to do anything. It's cool. It's just automated. It just does it for you. I wish I could, but here's the thing I want you guys to know. Automated marketing is received with the same amount of value as that postcard I just chucked over my shoulder. It requires no time. It's not personal. People don't put value on it. You want to make a big impact? You need to find a way to efficiently connect with people personally and invest some time in them. Does it make sense? That's how relationships are deepened. And that's how we built Teamzy. So let me just dive in here real quick to Teamzy. I think I have one more slide and then we're done. So there's that principle again. Investing time, connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay, this is all great, but you got to have a system to this. You can't just do it willy-nilly or whatever. Just hope you do it some days and some days you don't. You need a system, a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships. Know when you're going to contact people. In other words, something just tells you, here's who to contact today. Know what you're going to say. How many of you guys stare at the screen trying to think of the perfect message? Sometimes you get stuck. And make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. Make sure nobody falls through the cracks. Okay. So let me show you Teamzy. That's what this whole deal is about. First off, I want you guys to know, if you go to teamzy.com, spelled like the sign on my wall behind me, teamzy.com, you can get a free trial for 30 days. We attach no strings. We won't even ask for your credit card, nothing. So 30-day free trial, full access. You can get in there and try it and use it. Okay. And I encourage you guys to do that. Teamzy.com. When you first log into your free trial, it'll take you into the setup wizard. This is designed for people like me who aren't super techie. How many of you guys are super techie? This makes it really easy to do, you guys. This is like, no, if I can do this, you can do this. Okay, so there's these big next buttons. It's as easy as we can do. There's a little video for me. We'll skip that. So I want you guys to see in the setup wizard, this first piece here, which is we're going to set your income goal. And what you need to do is just decide, how much money do I want to be earning a year in the future, like a year from now? What income level do I want to be at? And you just slide this little circle up and down to determine your income goal. Now, when I started my business, I was making a salary of $150,000. I wanted in 12 months to equal that so that I could get rid of my job and be with my kids. So I set my goal at 150. So set your goal wherever is appropriate. If you already are making great income from your business, then your goal will be the difference you want to see in the next year. Does that make sense? So if you're already making 100,000 and you want to make 200,000 in a year, then you set your goal for the 100, the difference. If you're starting out, don't have much income, then do the full goal for next year. Okay. So at 150,000, this is pretty cool. Teamzy tells me exactly what to do on a daily basis. I need to reach out and connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 social marketers. Okay, 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 social marketers. When I say reach out and connect, I am not sending them a video. I am not trying to make a sale. I am just connecting to make someone's day. Okay, I call it the make someone's day mindset. I will show you how to do it in a second. It's super easy to do. Okay, we're just going to make somebody's day. So it's really fun to do. I'm going to click continue. And so now what's happened is Teamzy, when I click continue, Teamzy is setting up this account to my specific goal. Okay, so you'll all have a customized dashboard based on your goal. So it'll all look different, which is pretty cool. because there's not one box that we live in, right? The next page here is we're going to get all our contacts in. And these are actually little videos that show you how to do stuff in case don't know how to do it. But you can get all of your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, your LinkedIn people. You can import them all into Teamzy. So they're in one place organized. You get your team in here, your back office, all your customers, everybody in the Teamzy. Okay. So that you have a place to start. We're not telling you to write down 10 names on a pad of paper and start from there. We're going to load them all into Teamzy. It's pretty cool. They'll be in one place. Now, Teamzy is cloud-based, which means everyone will be in your phone. They'll be in your computer. You can get to them wherever you are. You never have to write down a name on a napkin ever again. You just pull out your phone, add them right into your CRM right there. Okay. But what it does, which is really cool, which I'm going to show you in a second, besides them being in one place organized, is there's a special algorithm that Teamzy uses so that everybody cycles through your connects list so that you stay in touch with everybody. It's really cool. All right, so let's launch it and take a look at it. So here is the Teamzy dashboard, the special Modere version. Okay. So you can see it's customized for you guys. And I'm just going to show you a couple things. This is kind of your dashboard where you come to work. So just looking at this, the first thing I want you to notice right here in the center where it says today's activities, this is what I need to do today. So again, my goal was for $150,000 over the next 12 months. This is just what I need to do today. It's so important because if you want a business to be big, you have to have a focus that's small. Okay, if you want to have a business that's big, you have to have a focus that's small. You need to know what you need to do today. So I need to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 social marketers. Those were my goals. They're all zeros. We haven't done any work yet, but we're going to in a second. Okay. The next goal here is shares. I've got a goal to share 3 times. So I'm going to be connecting with people, but I'm not going to share every time I connect. It needs to be appropriate, right? So I need to start a conversation first. So my goal is to do it 3 times a day, connect with 19 people, share 3 times a day. And then I've got a goal to add new people each day. Okay, add new people each day. So what's cool about this is, so those are my goals. I know exactly what to do. And as we start to do our power hour, those circles will fill in and we'll have a visual cue that we're making progress. Now, Teamzy, if you guys aren't familiar, how many of you guys are familiar with what a CRM is? A CRM, maybe at work you use CRM. So that's a type of software. It stands for Contact Relationship Manager. Okay, kind of dry and boring. Basically, it tracks all of your contacts, who they are, all their contact info, name of their spouse, wedding anniversary, all of your conversations, name of their dog, everything's in there, right? You track everything in here. So you have a place to keep track of all the info. Now, CRMs typically are really dull. There's like having a giant electronic filing cabinet. But Teamzy's got something different. It's more like having an assistant because what it does is it takes all of that data for you and it just tells you exactly how much activity to do, and then it tells you who to do it with. So if you look right here where it says Power Hour, Teamzy's giving me my 4 lists for today. My prospects that I need to connect with, my customers, the social marketers on my team that I need to connect with, and any follow-ups that are due. Okay, and so I don't have to dig around and wonder who do I connect with today. It tells me exactly who to connect with. And on the right-hand side here is where I log that activity, those messages as I send them so that it's all tracked. It's super important to track your connecting with people, your contacts with people, because you need to know when to connect again. If you don't track it, you don't know when to connect again. Now, what's cool about Teamzy is when you track, Teamzy automatically sets the clock for their next connection. You don't have to think about it. And the way this works is it's based on a 5-star system. We rate people on a 5-star system, just like you do Yelp or Amazon or anything else, right, guys? So depending on how many stars you give somebody, depends their priority on your list and sets the frequency for how often they come back automatically. So 5-star people show up first on your list and they come back automatically every month. You don't have to remember or anything. They just show back up, connect again. 4-star people come up next and then they show up every 60 days. Every 60 days they come back. So you're staying in touch, right? You might not have that many 5-star people because most people would be like, why are you bothering me every single month? But then you'll have more 4-star people. That's every 2 months. Then 3-star people, they come up, probably 80% of your list will probably be 3-star people. They show up every 3 months. So you're staying in touch with people at a decent interval without being annoying. You're just in touch, building that relationship. 2-star people you're now looking at every 120 days, right? Every 4 months with 2-star people. So depending on the stars, depends on how they come back automatically. So Teamzy now will prioritize your list for you. This is important. There's an important concept behind this, you guys. Because in relationship marketing, you need to spend more time with the best people. Have you guys ever heard of the 80-20 rule? You guys heard that term? So that just means that 80% of your business comes from 20% of your relationships. Okay. And those are the people who are going to, typically, those are the people who trust you the most, who like you the most. So that's why we're talking to our 5s and 4-star people more often, because they're probably that 20%. Make sense? Of course, you can change the ranks as you go, but you want to go through one time quickly to do the rankings so that Teamzy can create an intelligent list for you each day. Okay, so that's how it works. Now let's just demo it. I'm going to do a power hour with you. So you just pretend you logged into Teamzy, right? And hold on, let me stop my share for a second. Clear a couple of these things out. So you log into Teamzy, you're getting ready to do your power hour. You don't have to think anything. You just log in and you just follow the prompts. Okay. So now let me just find Teamzy again. Where to go? Here it is. All right. So if I go to my power hour, the very first person on my list is Jen. Jen, send me a friend request so I can message you. Okay, so I'm going to message Jen. See if you find me. I'm going to message Jen. And just remember, my goal is just to say hi and make her day. Now, how do you do it? What do you say? You know, what's the best thing to do? Do I need to spend an hour poring over her Facebook and Instagram feeds before I message her? No, don't do that. That's a waste of your time. You just want to send a quick and easy message. Now, to help you with this, I put all of my scripts in Teamzy for you to use for free. Even if you're on the free trial, they're there for you. You can use these scripts. They have been tested and tried. They work amazing. So these aren't cheesy sales scripts, by the way. They're just connecting scripts. So right here, I'm going to click on scripts just to get something I can say to her to keep moving. I'm going to message her on Facebook. And I've got all these scripts to choose from. I'm going to take the first one off the list. Here's how it reads. It says, "Hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome." It's super simple. So look, I'm going to copy that script. I'm going to paste it in here so that I can do some editing. I want to get the name right. Okay.
I couldn't find you, Eric.
You couldn't? All right. It's okay. I'll find you.
Okay.
So let's see here. We're going to do some emojis.
I found you.
However you want to, like, if you want to doctor this up a little bit, you can, but I'm just here to tell you guys that the wording works great. Okay, so there it is. I've got it personalized. I've got some emojis. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to copy this and go send it to her on Facebook. We'll see if we can find her. Oh, there you are. Boom. Great.
I didn't realize you sent me a friend request. Sorry.
Oh, there you are. Look, we're friends. See how that works out?
Yep.
I know my name is super generic. It's kind of hard to find me. So there she is. We found her. I'm going to message her. Okay. And you just paste that in there. Great. Now, of course, you can do this on a mobile phone too. I'm showing you guys the computer version. So now I've sent her that message. I actually sent it to her. Great. So we're going to log that in Teamzy. Facebook message. See the big button that says log connect? Click it. Now it's logged. Now look, I've got one done. The circle's starting to fill in blue, and she's gone off my list. She's now cycled back through Teamzy. She'll come back in a month if I don't hear back from her. The next person on my list is Jay. So I'm going to message Jay. Now you can just use the same script. Why not? It's still in my clipboard. Just paste it in there and change the name to Jay. Little pro tip as I'm doing this, always when you're starting a conversation thread, always put their first name in the message. Okay. Mm-hmm. Remember the principle was personal connection, investment of time. If you put hey girl or hey sweetie or whatever, dude, it looks like you're trying to save time. It looks like you're trying not to invest time. Does it make sense? Or it may seem impersonal, like it's a bulk, like you're using a bot. Okay, so now I've got it. I changed the name. I'm going to look up Jay. Oops, I didn't get Jay. There we go. We're going to message her, paste it in there, send the message. Okay, so the message is sent, logged. Do you guys see how easy this is? Oh my gosh, it's so easy. 2 done. The blue circle's filling in. Mindy's next. When I message Mindy, it'll start filling in. So I'm just going to work my way down my prospects list until I hit whatever my goal is. My goal is 9. Yours might be 5. I don't know. So when you send those messages, you're just sending the outgoing messages right now. When you're done, when that circle goes all the way blue, I go to the next list, which is customers. And this is present, past, canceled, all of them together, right? We're just going to stay in touch with them. And it works the exact same way. Claire comes up first. Great. I'll go to scripts. I'll look for a script. Now there's some great scripts here. Something like, how are you enjoying the product? Send me an update. Let me know how I could be of help. Or, hey, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Okay. So simple. Just checking in with customers. Now look, I'm just going to copy this as an example. Okay. And we do the same thing, paste it in there. Now you don't have to, I do an extra step of putting it in Teamzy first and doing my editing there. I didn't used to. I used to go straight to Facebook. The reason why I do the extra step is, can I tell you guys how many times I've sent somebody, hey, Jane, dear Jane. So I take a moment just to do it, just to do my editing here. It's not a big deal because usually you can have a good laugh about it. But again, whatever you want to do here, you get it customized the way you want it, send it to them, okay? And then log it in Teamzy the same way. So now we're going to work our way down. You can see now that pink circle starting to fill in on customers. So my goal is 6 customers. I'm going to just message whoever comes up next. This lets me stay in touch with everybody, even as I have a huge amount. Now, why is this so important? Why is it so important for me to just stay in touch with them? You know, just to say hi, just to let them know I'm present. I want you guys to understand something. This is a statistical fact. When you're in regular contact with customers, they order more products and they retain longer. They order more products and they retain longer. Why is this important? Because this is what makes the volume go up. Does this make sense? And it's better service. Can I get an amen on that? It's better service. They order more product, they retain longer. Now, the other thing is when you have people that are awesome, you know, the people you love serving, how many of you guys have people like that? How do you find more people like that? Where do you go? So I'm here to tell you the best place to find amazing customers is from the ones you already have. They already love you. Does this make sense? They already love you. They're more likely to introduce you to people like them. So by building a consistent relationship with customers, you're able to ask them, hey, before I get too busy this month, I'm sure there's people you know who need more information on this. And I'd like to take care of your people first because you're my favorite customer. So do you have anybody that needs more info? Just let me know. And she said, oh yeah, I was just talking to Amy. Great. Would you mind introducing her to me? Just introduce her to me. Whatever's easiest. Quick group chat on Facebook or group text. Just introduce me and I'll get her some more info. Are you guys with me? This is the easiest way to build your team. And most people don't do this. They'd rather spend an hour trying to meet strangers on Instagram than messaging the people who've already said, I trust you, I love you, and I'm buying from you. Does this make sense? Because they don't, it's just easier to go after strangers or whatever. They're worried about rejection. We're not worried about rejection building a relational business. We're spreading love, man. We are brightening people's days. You'll be amazed the responses you get from people, especially these days, especially in 2020. People need to hear from other people so badly right now. So we're going to stay in touch with our customers. They're going to introduce us to people. Now, a little added benefit to this. Amy introduces me to 3 of her friends who are all interested after I talk to them. Great. Thank you, Amy. You're the bomb. What am I going to now do before I move on? I'm going to message Amy and say, Amy, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Because you've already introduced 3 people to my business who are interested. Let's talk for another 5 minutes about this because I can set these people up with you right now. Does this make sense? So connecting with customers on a regular basis becomes a huge recruiting funnel for you. Okay. So the third group we're going to stay in touch with. The third group we're going to stay in touch with are our social marketers, our team. Okay. And this is huge. This is so huge because here's the dirty little secret in our industry they don't like to talk about. Turnover. It's 50% a year. That's a bummer. How many of you guys have been doing this for a year or more? Or in this business, this industry? Yeah. So you work hard to recruit people and half of them leave within the first year. That is a bummer. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. That's the average. It doesn't have to be that way on your team. The number one way that we impact retention on our team is by building relationships with our team. This, by the way, is why my product is called Teamzy and not Leadsy or Salesy or Cheesy. It's Teamzy, because the focus is on building your team and the relationships with your team. As you build relationships with your team, they will retain longer. The longer you keep people in the business, the more likely you are to help them be successful. That's why we're here, right? So I don't want to just teach you how to prospect and how to build relationships with customers. I also want to teach you that it's important to build relationships with your team. So look, your team members come up on Teamzy, great. We go to our social marketers, they come up, you message them. Hey, I saw that you signed your first customer up. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you for, right? I haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing? Your kids look so cute on Halloween. Whatever. Stay in touch with people. You guys with me? After you get the whole team using Teamzy, you just say things like, hey, you're number one on Teamzy today. How the heck are you? Right? People will send you laughing, emojis. It's all good. It's all good. But we want to stay in touch with our team. This becomes even more important as you grow and as you become a major team leader. People get a text message from you, it blows their mind. They feel so connected and valued. The more successful you get, the more people put value on your 2 seconds of time you invested in them. Make sense? Okay. So the first half of our power hour is connecting with prospects, customers, social marketers, just sending out those little messages, just sending them out, not responding yet, just getting them all out. Okay. If you start responding in the middle, you might not make it through. You'll get sidetracked. So what I recommend you do is set aside some time later in the day or whatever to respond to all the responses, because you'll get a lot of responses, especially if you start with your 4s and 5s. You're going to get a lot of responses. The response rate will be really big. Okay. Really big to these types of messages. The second half of our power hour is doing our follow-ups list. Now, when I get there, you'll see there's nobody scheduled because the follow-ups are not automatic in Teamzy. We put people on the follow-ups list when we've shared. Okay, when we've shared a product solution, business opportunity, your links, whatever. Once you've shared with somebody, now you want to follow up with them professionally. Now, you can set a follow-up for any reason you want, right? But I just want you to know the intention is that it's for when you've shared. So let me just give you an example. I messaged Jen. She responds, great to hear from you, Eric. It's just kind of casual at this point. So now that she's responded, I want to try to engage her in conversation. So I might say, well, how have you been? Send me an update. What did you guys do for Halloween? Did you do anything fun? Something to just get her talking. Now she's going to tell me, yeah, we did this and that. Okay, great. So now we're talking, and my job is just to be really interested in her and find out what's going on with her. Why is it so important for me to be interested in her and find out what's going on with her? Because I want to find a way to help her. That's my goal. Now, remember, this is all about relationships. It's all about helping people. I'm not waiting to drop Modere on her. I'm not waiting to sell her. I'm really listening so I can find a way to help her. And it could be anything. It could be anything. It could be, she's got a leaky roof and needs a roofer. That has nothing to do with my business, but it's a way to help her, right? We were just chit-chatting about how cold it is in Ohio today and how she had to go vote and it was freezing, right? Like I hear that, and if I was local, I might swing by and drop off some of those little hand warmers that you pop in your pockets, and be like, hey, next time here's something for you. Like those are just ways you listen and little ways you can help people and build a relationship. Does this make sense? But ultimately, I'm hoping I can help her with this business opportunity. But right now, we're just having a conversation. Now, as we're having the conversation, she's telling me what's going on in her life. What am I going to do? You guys, I know I'm kind of going deeper on this training, but people always ask me, how do you talk about the business? I'm telling you, find out what's going on in their life, then tell them what's going on in your life. This is called the law of reciprocity. It's totally normal and expected that you are now going to tell her what's going on in your life. Tell her about your kids. Tell her about your husband. Tell her about how life has been on lockdown. And then tell her about your amazing new business that you started. It's totally natural. Are you guys with me? And here's the key. When you talk about your business, you need to tell them what you're doing, i.e., the problem you solve, and that it's with Modere, and why you're passionate about it. What you're doing and why you're passionate about it. Okay? I don't know if I told you I started my own home-based business a few months back. Oh, you did? Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, I get to help people, I empower people, or I help people get healthier. Whatever it is about it that's you're passionate about, share it with them. And I love it because I get to do this, right? Here's what I want you guys to know. Every single person you will talk to is going to be like, good for you. That's awesome. Wow, good for you. Okay. When you share what you're doing and why you're passionate about it, people will always respond positively, especially in the context of just telling what you're doing. And this is where you just say, yeah, and let me know if you'd like to learn more about it at any point, Jen, just let me know. I'd be happy to get you some more info. Okay. Jen's like, well, to be honest with you, I need a little something and maybe I would like to talk a little bit more about it. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, let's set up a time to chat, so maybe I'll send her a Zoom link or something and we'll get on a chat so I can find out what she needs, what her problems are, and how I can help her with them. Right? So I'm going to fast forward, pretend we're having this Zoom chat. How do I log the Zoom chat and the invite in Teamzy? So look, she's no longer on my prospects list. She's cycled through the list. So I'm going to look her up in my lookup bar to get to her record. See it right there at the top? And that's going to you just type in a couple letters and you get her. It takes you to her record in Teamzy. So you can see all of our messages are here. And I'm going to open up that connect box and just start putting in my notes. This was a video chat, and I'm just going to put all the notes from our Zoom. Okay. So as we're talking, I'm taking notes. Usually I would ask her, do you mind if I take notes while we talk? Because I want to really understand where you're coming from. Okay, great. And so on this column, now sharing the business opportunity with her, and I'm going to click now to log that in Teams. I'm going to click on share. See right here where I'm circling? Click on share, and then whatever you shared. So I'm going to share it. It was a business opportunity share. Great. Now it immediately toggled on the follow-up list. You see that? It turned it on for 2 days from now. Now you can change it. I'm going to change it to tomorrow. Okay, great. So we're having a chat. She's interested. Great. I'm in. Perfect. I'm going to send you everything you need to do to get signed up. I'll check in with you tomorrow, Jen, to see if you have any questions. She says, great. Perfect. So now I've put her on my follow-ups list and I logged it. Okay. So you can see now it logged the Zoom and it logs that there's a follow-up due tomorrow for Jen. If I go to my dashboard, you can see that here, the share is logged. And then if I go to my follow-ups list, there she is due tomorrow. Super easy. So as you're having conversations and you share, you log it instead of follow-up. Now she's moved. So now Jen is no longer in my prospects flow. She's now on my follow-ups list. And I'm going to, because we've now gotten to a point of a share. I'm going to keep her on that follow-ups list until she converts. Now look, I know she told me she's going to sign up tonight, but she did. How many of you guys have had somebody say, yeah, I'm going to do it right now? Do they always do it right now? No, it's about 98% don't. I just want you guys to know a couple things on this real quick, because I'm going to talk to you about following up real quick. It's totally normal that people don't right away. You're not doing anything wrong. They're not jerks. It's not the economy. It's not the election cycle. It's not COVID-19. This is just human nature. Okay. So we create all these things in our heads of why they're not doing it. It's just normal. Okay. It's just normal. They said yes to you, and then their life started happening again. So most people won't sign up when they say they will, which is why we have to follow up. Now let's talk about follow-ups. Let me show you how easy it is to do a follow-up first, and then I'll talk to you about like the strategy behind it. So I come to Jen tomorrow when it's due. When I have a follow-up due, I have a little circle up here, like on your phone. It tells you how many are due. It's kind of like your little notification. So I'll come to Jen and I'll do a follow-up. Now you can go to scripts and get follow-up scripts. People were like, Eric, we need help with follow-up. So I put all my scripts in here. There's 10 follow-up scripts in here in order, numbered. You just send 1, then 2, then 3. Does this make sense? So follow-up number 1, here's how it reads. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Super simple. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do exactly like we did for a regular connect. Change the name, right? Oh, that's the Gaelic spelling. All right, so there it is. So I've got it set up for her. You can put some emojis in there if you want. I'm going to go message her in Facebook. Oh, look, she's already responding. This is really happening. Oh, these scripts work. Oh my gosh. So now I'm sending her my follow-up message. Boom, I sent her my follow-up message. I'm going to log this in Teamzy. Let me show you how easy this is. When you log a follow-up, it's just like logging a normal connect, except Teamzy is now going to ask me, did this complete the follow-up that you had scheduled today? So I'm going to leave that checked. I'm going to add another follow-up, let's say 3 days. Okay. I can leave myself a note. It's going to be follow-up number 2. Okay, great. And then add that follow-up. So now that's added, done. So now I've got a new follow-up set for her Thursday. Super easy. You cannot mess this up. You cannot mess this up. You start conversations, you have great conversations, share, log it, put them on a follow-ups list. Now Jen is going to be on my follow-ups list. I am planning on following up with her until she joins the team or purchases or whatever. Now,
can I ask one question?
yeah.
Can we customize those scripts at all? Like, can we take scripts? Okay. And just take them over there? Like, because we have a ton of them. I'm just asking.
You can put your own scripts. Yep. You can put your own scripts in your Teamzy account.
Okay.
Mine are there for you to use.
Thank you.
Yep. You can also take mine, customize them, save them as your own, or you can bring your own in. Yeah. The scripts is super cool. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in Q&A, some of the cool stuff you can do with the scripts feature.
Okay. I'll shut up.
So here's the thing with following up. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Amy's nodding, but she's not happy about it. Nobody's happy about having to follow up 10 times, right? 7 and 10 follow-ups is the average for 80% of the sales, which means if you follow up 3 or 4 times and you feel like you're doing a pretty good job, you actually gave up on 80% of your business. Isn't that crazy? And so whenever I teach this and I tell people, look, you use my scripts, there's 10 of them in there. You can follow up for a year. People are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the most annoying person in the world. People are going to hate me if I have to follow up 10 times on this. How many of you guys kind of fall into that camp? Like you're worried about being a nag. Yeah, it's natural. That's natural. So I want you to know there is a way to do this without being annoying. Okay. And I'm going to teach this to you. And this took me like 10, 12 years to figure out how to not be annoying on the follow-up. But there's 2 principles to this. I'm going to teach you the principles. Now, just know that my scripts already employ these principles. Principle number 1, when you're following up. Now, by following up, I mean, we've talked about it. I've shared the business with you. You said you're interested, or I've shared products with you. You said you're interested. So now I'm following up. I don't mean just staying in touch. I call those connects. Okay. So we're following up. Here's the principles. Number 1, never ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to call you. Don't ask them to message you, because that's annoying. How many of you guys have ever gotten a voicemail where it's like, call me back? Is that like the most annoying voicemail ever? First of all, voicemails are annoying. So don't call people. Message them. Set up calls, schedule calls with people so you can talk to them, but message them first, because nobody likes, I don't know what happened. In the last 10 years, we decided we hate it when our phone rings. So message people. So you want to, you don't want to ask them anything. I love this one too. This is so common, is when you're not getting a response to say something like, could you please do me a favor and just tell me if you're not interested? Why in the world would you ask them to tell you that? So don't ask them to do anything. That's the first principle. Okay. The second principle is your message has to be short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it. Your message needs to be short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it. Why is this? Because most of the time they will not even open your message. Not because they don't like you, but it's because right now at this moment, it's not convenient for them to respond. How many of you guys do this? You try to leave them unopened until you can get to them. However, we are all absolutely addicted to looking at our phone and finding out what the message said, right? So don't worry if they're not opening your messages. If you follow these rules, don't ask anything of them, and you keep it short enough they can read the whole thing, they're reading your message. They're seeing it. Now they have good intentions to respond later and they don't get to it, which is why we need to stay in touch. Those messages need to keep popping so that they know that you're still there, just like you promised you would, that you're still present and caring for them, just like you promised you would. And what happens is you're keeping it light, keeping it short. Those messages become kind of inspiring moments for them. They feel good about you every time they get them. Now, there's a lot of psychology here, and I've already been training for a long time, so I won't get deep into it. But there's a lot of subconscious mind stuff working against you, working against their decision to join your business. And these little messages over time start to reprogram that subconscious to be less threatened by the opportunity, which is why it takes 8 to 10. It takes 8 to 10. And when you show them that you meant it, that you're consistent and that you're caring and that you're positive, they will eventually respond with that. I'm so sorry I haven't been responding. Thank you for staying in touch. And I want you guys to know it is very common to get no response for up to 7 follow-ups. Nothing. Just crickets. How many of you guys have had that? People are interested in it's just crickets. Yeah. Well, if you've tried it with any more than 2 people, you've been getting crickets. Okay. So 6, 7 times, no response. It's normal. And then they will apologize. They will apologize and get back, and they will start engaging again. This is like clockwork. I've been teaching the system 20 years. Real estate people, mortgage people, attorneys, doctors, massage therapists, insurance agencies, whatever. I can't even tell you how many different businesses I've coached on this system. You stay connecting with people, you start great conversations, you invite them, you follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. What happens is every single, in this 1 hour a day, every single month, people on that follow-ups list convert. And this is how you're seeing like just the average results, people using Teamzy, 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. It makes sense? And so every day you log in for an hour, you send out outgoing messages, and then you see who's doing your follow-ups list, you send them a follow-up message. Okay. Now, the ideal situation on this is you set aside a couple of blocks of time, maybe 2 30-minute blocks of time throughout your day where you respond to messages. Okay. Leave them all as unread and then respond to them all. The other alternative is you could just be on your phone all day long messaging people, which is what in the beginning it's exciting to do that because you don't have any business and you're like, yes, I'm messaging with people. But after a while, you will want the structure I just recommended so that you can have a life. The whole point of this is to have a life, right? So your Teamzy Power Hour, the first half, sending outgoing messages, the second half, going through and working your follow-ups list. As you guys jump into Teamzy, remember teamzy.com and get your free trial. The first 3 weeks, you probably will have no follow-ups. It'll just be reaching out to people because you've got to advance conversations to get to that point. Does it make sense? But by the end of your 30 days, that follow-ups list should start filling in and you'll get a feel for how that is. Okay, so let me just finish her off. Doesn't sound right, but we're going to show you how we get Jen when she signs up into Teamzy as a customer or as a social marketer, and then we'll do some Q&A. So when I come into her full contact record again, let's say I go into back office and she's signed up. So I'm going to click on sale and I'm just going to log, we got ultimate enrollment. Great. So we're going to save that. Now I want to tag all the specific products she's using just so I have them so that I know, well, we can get into that in Q&A, but it's really cool to have all the different products tagged. So at a glance, I can see all the products she's using as she uses things. And then I'm going to take her member type and I'm going to move it over to social marketer. Okay. Personally sponsored. So now she's going to be on my team. I'm going to continue connecting with her as a team member. She's not going to be on my prospects list anymore. Make sense? Okay. That was a mouthful. That was a long mouthful. Okay. Hopefully that was really helpful. Now, here's what I want you guys to do. If you have questions, go ahead and just unmute your microphone and ask away. I'm happy to answer any of them. I'm sure I raised a few.
I have a couple of questions.
Great.
So at the beginning, when we're adding our contacts into Teamzy, do people know that we added them there? Because like, for instance, I forget the app, but I like got declined a couple times. I'm like, I had no idea I asked you for that,
Oh, no.
So do people don't know that we put them in our list there?
No way.
Okay.
No, you're just taking the contacts and putting them in there. Yep.
Okay. And then the other question I have is, so we're getting this all started. How do we get like what our current lists, like off paper or whatever, how do we get that stuff into Teamzy so that we know, okay, I followed up with Jane 15 times already, how do you do that?
Okay, so let me open up Teamzy again right here. So first off, if you've got people on paper, then you need to put them in manually. You just click on this add contact at the top. If you're doing a bulk import, you would click on bulk. But if I've just got somebody up here, you got to be able to type though. Let me try it slower. There we go. So it's really easy to add somebody, right? And that'll create a contact record. And now I can add all kinds of details. I can put your birthday, your pets' names, kids, all that stuff. So I can have all the info. If you've been connecting with people a lot via, tracking on paper, then you can just go to notes and you can just put some notes in here. Like this is what I've done so far. And if you need to put you on a follow-ups list, I would just click on follow-up and I would select a date to put you on my follow-ups list now. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're just going to go into my flow. So depending on how many stars I give you, if I give you 5 stars, then you're going to show up on my list at the top of my list, and then you'll come back every 30 days. So I can just let you in my flow, or I can log a connect right now. Like I send you a message right now when I add you, and then that will automatically set your clock based on your stars. If I don't want to set a follow-up, makes sense? So if I add you and log and actually send you a message and you're 5 stars, you'll automatically cycle back in 30 days if I don't hear from you. Make sense?
So what if they are, you want to follow up with somebody like in a week, not 30 days? I mean, how does,
so you just click on
do
follow
you
up.
just manually change that?
You just set follow up and you set it for when you want to follow up with them. So if I want to follow up on the 9th, then I save it. And now you're going to be on my follow-ups list. You're going to pop due on November 9th. So you can, if you don't want to just let them flow, if there's a specific reason you want to follow up, then just set a follow-up, put them on the follow-ups list. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Cool. And then of course, if you guys have contacts somewhere electronically, you can import those in bulk. So you can get, lists from just about anywhere. They export to like a CSV list or a spreadsheet type thing. You can import those into Teamzy. And we've got instructions on how to get your Facebook friends into Teamzy. That's my favorite part, because getting started for me, it was like I had all these people I knew on Facebook. The first thing I needed Teamzy to do for me was to be able to get that Facebook list, which was awesome. Because then now, instead of just looking at Facebook and kind of going, who do I want to connect with or who should I message? It's in there cycling through in an organized way. That makes sense. So, okay. Who else has a question?
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, sorry. My baby's asleep and I didn't want to yell. So I went on here and just went ahead and set up everything. And now I'm looking at a screen. I don't know if it's because it's an iPad. It's not letting me, import anyone. Yeah. It's just saying launch Teamzy. So what do you do in that situation?
So mobile devices don't handle files the same way that a computer does. So it's very difficult to download like a file to your iPad. However, there is, Apple does have the files feature. So if you're competent with that, you can figure it out. Like you can download to the files, and then you can upload it into Teamzy, even though it says you can't. That little message is there because most people can't figure out how to do it on a mobile device. And so we just recommend going over to a computer to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Yeah.
I'll get it on my laptop and do it that way.
Thank you. It'll be super easy on your laptop. And I also want you guys to know, if you at any point struggle with the technical part of setting it up, we have a full-time customer service team that's awesome. So you can send them there's a little help button. You can send them a quick message via email and they'll respond. But also for people who are just like, oh my gosh, forget it, I can't do it. We do one-on-one Zoom calls with my customer service team. So they'll get on a one-on-one Zoom and they'll walk you through it. They'll even, if you log into everything, they can even like take control of your computer and do it all for you while you're watching to set you up. So I don't want anyone to think that like I'm not technical and I don't want to do this, because once you get it set up, it is so easy to use. So easy to use. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys how much Teamzy costs. Let me at least just throw that out there. So after the 30 days free, per month, it's $29.99. So it's $1 a day to have everything planned for you. It's pretty much a no-brainer. And of course, you guys know that it's 100% deductible as a business expense, which is pretty cool, off your taxes. So one of the best things ever about this business is that you get to deduct like between $8,000 and $9,000 a year off your taxes because of your business. I don't know if you guys know that, but even if you're not making a lot of money in your business, that's income. That's income, tax deductions. So make sure you get a good tax professional that can tell you what you need to do and what you can deduct, because just having this business from a tax perspective is like a major raise in your income. Pretty cool, even if you're not selling much. All right. Any other questions?
I have one more, and it might
Okay.
be, I just got to get in there and look at it. So if I import all my Facebook people,
Yeah.
what about, because it's going to give me certain people a day, right? So what if there's people that obviously are in this business already? Can you just delete them from your contact
Yeah.
list, or how do you just shut them, mute them or something?
Well, there's
Like as far as prospects go?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would keep them if there's somebody you want to continue building a relationship with. So
Okay.
look at
I
Teamzy
think-
from Teamzy's standpoint of everyone that you want to build a relationship with. Some of them won't be business related, but you're like, wow, this is a great way to get a reminder to stay in touch with people. So leave them in there. But it's really easy to delete people. So if you're looking at your list, if you're on the dashboard and somebody comes up and you're like, oh, I don't want her, then you can there's a delete right here.
Okay.
If you're on your team page where the full list of everybody lives, there's a little trash can that you can delete somebody with. Really easy. The other thing you can do though, use the word mute. If you want to keep somebody in Teamzy, but you don't want them showing up on your lists, you just make them 1-star. 1-star people won't cycle through the power hour. They're just there if you need to look them up.
Okay.
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 Now, one thing
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, so right there where it says prospects, customers, social marketers, all that. So when we set at the beginning how much we want to make, so I'm just gonna be honest, like, yeah, I want to make as much money as I can, right? But 9 people is not enough for me. I personally reach out to more than 9 people a day. So can we customize that? Like, do I just need to take the income thing all the way to the right to
Well,
infinity, or
you can customize those right here where it says edit daily goals.
okay?
And that'll pop you to this page. Now you don't have to change the income goal. You can just go to the next, continue on.
Okay.
And then you can modify. This is also good for new people who don't have customers or social marketers.
Right.
So then you would take, in that case, you would take these and add them up to 19 and make these zeros if you don't have anybody on your team. Okay. And so then you just focus on prospecting. And you save this.
I think Sarah.
Once you save that, now you see the dashboard is now changed to those goals.
Is there, Sarah's asking if there's a limit to how many people can be imported into that.
There's not a limit on how many people you can import. However, realistically, you won't be able to stay in regular contact with more than about 5,000 people.
Okay.
I would recommend.
Well, and I think with a lot of us, we have a lot of, like, obviously, like, a lot of us are friends in here, right? We don't want to follow up with each other. So when we integrate, they're going to be there. So, okay.
You're going to have some cleaning up to do for sure. And
yeah.
Ideally, once you get cooking in Teamzy and you really love it, I would say the goal would be to keep your list at around 3,000.
Okay.
Of people that you're doing. Now, some of you are like, I know 400 people, so that's not a problem. So your goal is to grow, right? Your goal is to grow, but more than that, you can do more than that with help. And so I've got people like, business people that I have coached over the years, and they've got assistants who send messages on their behalf. And so they've got people that are, cranking it through. And, when you get to a certain level in your business, people know that you're at a certain level. And so it's like when somebody says, hi, I'm messaging from Jen's office. She wanted me to check in and see how you're doing. It works, it still continues to work.
Right.
So, but yeah, it gets to a point where you definitely need help to maintain those relationships when you get to a certain level.
So look at your little thing there. It says social posts, personal development, use products and exercise. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's freaking fabulous, because I was like, I need to make a list, a checkbox for all the products that I'm taking, like, literally, because my brain is all over the place all the time. It's just who I am. And that would so help big time. So that's cool that that's in there.
Those are called the daily. So there's things you need to do every day to be successful in business. Those 4 are on there because those 4 are system. In other words, we know you need to be posting on social every day. Did you do it? Click. Did you do some personal development work? Even at just 10 minutes, click. By the way, this training counts. You guys can count this training. All right.
Yeah.
Are you using your products? Yes. Did you get some exercise? And I get people all the time. They're like, can you take the exercise thing off? I go, no, I wanted to bother you because statistically, people who exercise regularly are more successful. right? So these are important
Yeah.
things. But you can also add new ones. Like my Teamzy has devotional time. So you can add new ones, whatever you want. So like if you want a devotional, then you save it. And now I've got
Family time.
I've got a new one on
Add-
there. Cool. So the other thing that's on the dashboard that we also know you need to be successful is your why. So you can put your why in Teamzy. Click on that. So it's always in front of you. We even have a little training here that helps you figure out what your why is. So you have your why statement on your dashboard. So why are you doing your Teamzy today? So just to give you an idea, my why was the sample that's in Teamzy when you go in there, the why that I had 7 years ago, which was so that I never have to worry about money again, so that I can be present with my family on a daily basis, right? So that I can be healthy and full of energy. Like that was why I was working on my side business. So what's your why? So we try to set this up so you have everything you need to be really successful right in front of you on a daily basis. Does it make sense? And this way you always know what to do, who to connect with, so that you're doing the income producing activities, building those relationships, and not just being busy, right? But actually being productive. So hopefully that was really helpful. I think David, you're muted. Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got 2 questions.
Yeah.
I've been doing more than one business at once, but it seems like I can still track it with this. Is that right? I just put the notes down for each person.
Best thing to do is use tags and tag, if you've got people that are specifically leads for one business versus another, tag it so that you have tags and you can look and see which one they're for. Does that make sense? So the tags are really helpful if you're trying to do that. But yeah, you can absolutely work lots of people do.
Okay. And then the other question was, you're giving us 6 things that we shouldn't do and we're following up with people. And I got down to 2. Was there more than, did I miss the others, or?
When you
Don't ask them to do anything, and then 2, message short enough so that they can see it.
Yep. That's it. Those are the 2 things.
Oh, those are 2 things. Okay.
2
I want
things.
to make sure.
Yep. Don't ask them to do anything. Keep your message short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So this is all recorded. We'll be able to go back and look at it later when we're totally confused. And
yep, I'm recording it. I'll get it over to Jen later tonight, and then she can share it with you guys.
Okay. And if we have a problem after we're signed up with Teamzy here, how do we get, do we call somebody? Do we email them? How do we say, I'm confused, what do I do?
Yep, let me show you. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. All right. So first thing is, on every screen is this floating help button on the bottom right. You guys see that? So you click that, you can send a quick message to our team. It lets you attach things. So if you're trying to upload like a list of contacts and it's not working, attach that, because most of the time they'll respond with, your contacts are in your account. Don't worry about it. It's all done for you. But so you can send a quick message to the team there. Now, the other thing that's pretty cool is we have this help center built in. So for those of you who are kind of like the self-service type people, you go to Help Center and there's just like tons of different videos and FAQs and things that you can do here, webinars, tons of training. So you can go check the Help Center as well. We also have a community on Facebook that you can join and see if someone's asked the questions. There's lots of ways you can get help, but to get to our team right here, you just click that. That's the easiest thing.
Perfect.
Okay. Great.
That was awesome. Anybody else have questions?
Well,
This is good.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks for setting it up. I'm glad to have an opportunity to talk to you guys. Hopefully it was very helpful and useful. Whether or not you use Teamzy, hopefully you got some good nuggets that you can apply. But I just want to encourage you guys, get in there and get your free trial started. You can set up your paid subscription at any point during your free trial. You won't get billed until the 30 days is up. But definitely do that before the end of 30 days so you don't lose access. But thanks again, Jen.
Is there do you get it cheaper if you pay for the year?
Yes. Yeah. If you pay for 12 months, you actually save about 2 months worth. So save about $60 off the year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely send us, because I think this would be, even for the higher level leaders on here, like this is even like, we can give away free months of this to like leaders that are growing. Like this would be an incentive to help them get organized. I think this would be good. So thank you so much, Eric. Thank you everybody that came on and watched, and I appreciate you all, and everybody have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. God bless everyone.
All right, you too.